Welcome everyone to Otakus Justin here, back with more superhero gaming. This is episode 3, and this time we show love to Marvel for the first 2 episodes. Now we're gonna go into the realm of the DC universe, and we're gonna be talking about Green Lantern: Rise of the Manhunters. And today we're gonna be delving into that game and try that a game that really tried to harness the Emerald Warrior. It was released in 2011 by Double Helix Games along with other developers for different platforms. This game capitalized on the excitement surrounding the Green Lantern movie starring Ryan Reynolds, aiming to expand on the Green Lantern lore and immerse players in the space faring adventures of Hal Jordan. The game had mixed success. While we explore every facet from the story, the gameplay, the graphics, and of course the voice performances to understand its strengths, its limitations, and why I feel it remains a unique Green Lantern experience for Green Lantern fans. So without further ado, folks, let's talk about that story. Story. This is actually one of those rare times, folks, where the movie tie-in game is actually better than the movie. This is what the fans were wanting and thinking when we were thinking of a Green Lantern movie. Epic space battles, nothing but space, investigations, and all of that. A mystery that Hal has to solve, or just uncover secrets and things of that nature. We didn't get that with the movie. And I felt that if they did something like make the Manhunters the first real big threat in the first movie instead of going with Parallax, we would have had a way better Green Lantern movie, and probably Ryan Reynolds will still be our Green Lantern to this day. We'll be seeing a different DC universe, but hey, everything happens for a reason. Now, let's talk about the story. So, the story of Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunters follows Hal Jordan, Earth's first Green Lantern, by the way, as he confronts an ancient threat to the Green Lantern Corps, the Manhunters. These robotic beings were once again the guardians and forces before the Green Lanterns were established, but they turned against the creators and now seek vengeance. The game opens up with Manhunters launching an attack on Green Lantern's homeworld, Oa. Hal Jordan, which is voiced by Ryan Reynolds, is tasked with stopping the invasion, unraveling the motives of the Manhunters, and uncovering a deeper conspiracy at play. Alongside him are familiar faces like Sinestro and Kilowog, adding layers of character interaction that deepen the stakes. The narrative serves both as a direct tie in to the movie and as a means of exploring additional corners of the Green Lantern universe. Although it doesn't offer much of deviation from typical superhero plots, the setup allows for expansive battles across planets and introducing players to some of the key Lantern Corps powerful mythos. In the story, like I said, if we got this instead of what we got for the actual movie, we still might have had Ryan Reynolds as Hal Jordan. We could have probably had a full blown Green Lantern franchise. Unfortunately, we didn't get that, but story wise, I had no problem with it. I thought the story was pretty good with the Manhunters. Ryan Reynolds provides the voice, which I will talk about later when it comes to the voice acting. And let's talk about the gameplay, shall we? So, gameplay. So, at its core, Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunters is an action adventure beat 'em up game with elements that reminiscent of titles such as God of War and Devil May Cry. So, honestly, when this game came out in 2011, critics, people that played it called it God of War Light or a wannabe God of War or a watered down God of War when it comes to mechanics. And honestly, it's not necessarily an insult or a bad thing. I personally love this game. I personally had fun with this game. I've beaten this game multiple times and it's just fun. And I think what for me what made it so much fun was the fact that we were able to unleash various constructs. Combat was just straightforward, packed with potential due to the variety of constructs that was available. He can form a giant fist. He had swords, hammers. There was so much constructs to unlock and to upgrade, which gave it such a variety of uses. And some constructs work better for certain enemies. You had to use certain constructs to break shields. You had to use certain constructs to defeat generators. So they made it a good distinction and satisfaction in stringing together various combos, and that seamless transition between constructs and combat worked very well, which allowed for some really high degree of player expressions. The progression system lets us upgrade these constructs and really does a good job of it. The gameplay, however, did have some of its flaws. Combat, while it was impressive visually, it did feel repetitive. But at the same time, folks, most beat 'em up games are repetitive. So, I can't really down it, but yeah, it does get repetitive when it comes to the game enemies, mainly because they're mostly manhunters. And so it does lack a form of diversity when it comes to enemies, leading to a cycle of similar battles. Additionally, the camera angles can be restrictive at times, making it tough to keep track of enemies during larger battles, but still, for fans of Hal Jordan, this game captures the thrill of wielding the power ring and battling larger than life foes in the few games that had done prior. So me personally, I thought the gameplay was pretty solid. I love the choices of constructs. Yes, it does get repetitive. Yes, it lacks diversity and when it comes to the enemies department. That's mainly because we're just facing a bunch of robots. Yes, there's a variety of robots. Some might have shields, some might shoot lasers, and you have to block it. But it's still a very fun game to play, and especially for this being a movie tie-in. I'm surprised when it came out, I had so much fun playing it and doing this video. You watching my gameplay right here, I still had fun playing this because what people fail to realize is that it does also have like this light gun, no, not light gun. Just rail shooter elements in certain levels where you're flying through space. So it kind of breaks the monotony of the beat 'em ups that we get. Gameplay wise, I thought it was solid. Yes, it has its flaws, but it's still a fun game. If I would rate the gameplay back in the days, I could give it like a 7.5 or a 7. It was an average, but it was still fun to play. So let's talk a little bit about the graphics and, of course, the voice performances. Let's talk about the graphics here. Me, I still personally think that in certain levels, Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunter still holds up to this day. And I think Double Helix Games did an admirable job of bringing the vibrant colors and cosmic aesthetics of the Green Lantern universe to life, especially on the planet Oa level, which is portrayed by bright green lights and intricate architecture to highlight its role in its heart of the Green Lantern. The space environments and alien landscapes that players visit throughout the game are immersive, and it gives you this sense of scale and grandeur, one that you expect from a Green Lantern adventure. However, I will have to say various versions like the PS3 and Xbox 360 is where you will see that epic scope, while the Nintendo versions, well, it was more on a cartoonish side and doesn't really capture what the tone was going for when it came to this game. Hal Jordan and the other Green Lanterns are rendered with impressive accuracy, though the designs can be a little bit more expressive to highlight emotion and cinematic moments. The facial expressions wasn't really that great when it came to those emotional beats. The visuals are impressive for their time, but they do fall into some areas of common pitfalls. We did have texture pop-ins, occasional glitches, and some similar environment events, but nonetheless, for what it did at the time, I will say brightest day, blackest night, you definitely captured Green Lantern's light. So let's take a look at the voice performances, shall we?
What the hell?
Analyzing. Launches from suborbital Manhunter dropship. Requires further analysis.
Jordan, ignore them. Your immediate threat are the ground forces. Concentrate on them.
Will do.
Loser, get down!
Kilowog! No! Ring, Kilowog's down. He needs emergency services.
Ring, forget that, will you? I'm okay. How you doing, Pooza?
Me? I'm fine, but you're the one.
Do you really think a little blast like that can put me down?
It was aiming for me. If you didn't...
Hey, so you owe me one. Now get the blazes out of here and go save the Citadel.
Thank you.
Jordan, Manhunter forces are converging on the Citadel. An Ultra Manhunter is attempting to destroy it. You must stop it.
I will!
The voice acting in Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunter stands out as one of the more polished aspects of the game. Ryan Reynolds reprises his role as Hal Jordan from the Green Lantern movie, lending the character a sense of authenticity and consistency for fans of the film. His performance brings Hal Jordan's trademark wit and determination to the forefront, and his line delivery does not sound wooden. It doesn't sound forced. He doesn't sound like he's there for just a paycheck. He doesn't sound like he's in the booth to just get this over with because he's contractually obligated. Supporting characters like Kilowog and Sinestro also appear. Kilowog is voiced by Kevin Michael Richardson, and he does a commanding job sounding with that capturing that gruff, that mentorship style that we love. And Jason Spizak as Sinestro brings a layer of calm and intensity that hits later at his villainous transformation. So the performances really help ground the game, giving it a more cinematic quality flair to it, and it really elevates the story and enhances the characters' interactions. So Green Lantern Rise of the Manhunter, it may have not redefined the superhero games such as Marvel's Spider-Man or Spider-Man 2, X-Men Legends 2, Batman's Arkham, but it's still a worthy entry, I should say, of the superhero genre. But it did provide a rare look in a less explored part of the DC universe. Yes, the game is a mixed bag, engaging for fans who want to experience the thrill of being a Green Lantern. But yes, it's limited in its appeal and its repetitive gameplay and its limited story, but it's still a fun superhero game. It has a niche audience. I still play it. I still love it. It's a product of its time. It's a fun but flawed adventure that gives players the chance to step into Hal Jordan's boots. It's a story that may not have the most complex twist, but it's a worthy expansion on a Green Lantern mythos, especially Reynolds and other talented voice actors being able to bring these iconic characters to life. So if you can embrace the repetitive combat and draw to its unique premise, Rise of the Manhunter is a reminder of the hero's journey of Hal Jordan and the thrill of wielding a power ring. So we're gonna end this right here, and I'm gonna let Hal Jordan take us out. But first, I just want to say, folks, thank you so much for all your support here on the channel. If you like what we do here, don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Hopefully, earn your subscription and hit that notification bell if you do. So, without further ado, Hal, take us out. I'll catch you on the next one later days.
In brightest day, in blackest night, no evil shall escape my sight. Let those who worship evil's might beware my power. Green Lantern's life.